Hey y'all, what is up? Here's the situation. So, we've seen it time and time again, different influencers on all types of platforms exposing themselves for something. They say something creepy, people look into it, they find out they had a past, or they just simply do stupid shit right on stream and people talk about it. Anyways, we've seen countless times where influencers expose themselves, but today we're going to be looking at a specific comment. And this comment isn't from an influencer. This is just a random man existing somewhere in the United States. Just a random who said really crazy shit. Now, I had come across this story where pretty much it was an anti-ICE protest. Don't worry, this video is not going to be political. It's strictly going to be looking at this random individual who left a really uncomfortable comment towards a female high school student. But apparently there was a anti-ICE protest outside of a Texas high school where a man got upset after a teenage girl ended up kicking his vehicle one time, and he got out of his vehicle and ended up attacking this female student. Now, this was a whole situation. There are multiple articles about it, and it turns out that the man who did end up attacking this high school student he ended up getting arrested. He got investigated. He was arrested. People had sent in videos of the incident that occurred. A lot of the students banded together and sent in their videos that they had took of the incident and helped to get this man arrested. Now, here's the situation. When certain things happen, everybody talks about it. And especially when it's online, you get people from all different walks of life who can comment on the situation, who feel so differently about it just based off the fact that people are just different, okay? You were raised differently than other people, so of course your opinions are going to differ. There are so many different age gaps across the internet, so that's going to, of course, affect how somebody answers. And it's just, there's so many people, different personalities on the internet, different ages, different walks of life on the internet, that when they come together, sometimes it's not always the healthiest mix and combination for a comment section. Now, a TikTok user who goes by the name of Earl_Jr1173 ended up throwing himself and asserting his opinion, his not needed opinion, into the situation. And what he said was really, really troubling to a lot of individuals. So, what did this man possibly say that startled the entire fucking internet who was a part of this conversation? And, to be fair, as a parent, I feel like if I sent my child to high school to get an education, and I was at work and I assumed that my child was safe behind the seat of a desk in one of their periods, just learning away with their little notebooks and binders and book bag and snacks and drink and pencils and papers, what I would be thinking is my child is safe in school. So if I would find out that my child skipped school to attend a protest that was right outside the school or like in the vicinity, I would of course be upset. I would have a lot of opinions to vocalize to my child, and probably about the protest and like why are kids getting involved, because it's not really that safe, but I understand, it's freedom. People have the rights to do whatever they want. But I would have opinions about my child being involved in a protest, because you never know what's going to happen. Shit happens. We see people get unalived at these things. We don't want to, have children involved, in my opinion. So, yeah, I would have an opinion about my child attending a protest, especially one of the nature in conversation, because we just know that those types of protests, we've seen people get unalived, and it's just not a safe environment. So, as a parent, I, of course, would voice my opinion, and I feel like a lot of other parents, too, like, whether you're a parent or not, like, everybody's been voicing their opinions on this, and Earl decided to voice his opinion. What did Earl say? Earl said she should have been in the school instead of outside the school. She's a minor. Where are her parents at? If that was my child, I'd surely jerk a... You know what? Y'all can read it. If you want to, y'all can read it. Just look at the screen, it's there. Now, here's the thing about the internet. If you're going to make a comment such as what you just made, and now let's be fair, I don't know if he came on the internet with the intention of making it sound like he would a child, but that's really what it sounds like he is willing to do here. Maybe this is an older gentleman who doesn't understand like the lingo and the slang and doesn't know what it means to bust a... Maybe he doesn't understand certain... I don't want to defend this because I really think he knows what he was saying, and he said what he thought he was saying, and he knew what he was saying, and he commented exactly what he wanted to say. So I don't know how to really like chalk it up to maybe he just doesn't understand the use of terminology that he used for this, but truthfully, I think that he probably does understand. Here's the thing. This man, after commenting this, I guess so many people started flooding his page, because if you would go to TikTok and type in Earl underscore, this account is one of the most searched things right now with that association to Earl and the underscore. The account swiped. He swiped this account, but there is another account with Earl1173, so I'm not sure if he created another account using the same name or if somebody else then created this account to, I don't know, but there is another account. But yeah, people were voicing their opinions. Earl voiced his opinion, and the internet shut the fuck up, because what do you mean, Earl?
Sorry, you'd what now? Earl? You'd what?
If you're on TikTok, this is his account, Earl underscore JR1173. This is Earl over here. Earl saw somebody make a video about high school kids that were protesting along the side of the street, but protesting. And a guy stopped and got out and physically confronted one of the high school girls. High school girls. High school girls. Okay? Teenagers. High school girls. A man got out and confronted these high school girls physically. And Earl here said, she should have been in school instead of outside the school. She's a minor where her parents act. If that was my child, period, I'd surely jerk a nut in that ass and have her ass back in the school. What? What? First of all, learn punctuation, okay? Some form of actual fucking punctuation. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that you didn't mean that you were going to child, which is what you're saying here. I want you to think about that for a minute, Earl. You're saying here that you would assume that child sex, kind of tracks, considering the type of person you are. But I'm going to assume you meant to say that you were going to jerk a knot in her ass. You know, like you would hear something out of Roy D. Mercer's mouth when he said something like, I'll put a pop knot on your head big enough for a calf to suck on. I'm gonna assume you meant that, because if you meant what you actually wrote, holy fucking shit. You know what I mean? Because what you actually wrote is that you would stop and suck a teenage girl and then drag her ass back inside the school. Even though you didn't mean that, at least I hope you didn't mean that, still, holy fucking shit. You would stop and physically assault your child? I would highly advise your child to get your fucking granddaughter away from you then. Say woo. I would advise your child to check that child for signs of abuse. And I'm being serious when I say that. Because I lived with somebody, my mother, who would pop a knot in you. And if that's what you're willing to say on social media, God only knows what you are actually willing to do behind closed doors.
Now, did Earl mean to say what Earl meant to say? The internet is unsure, but the internet does know they want Earl's hard drives checked. Every electronic device that Earl Jr. Earl underscore Junior 1173 possesses needs to be checked by the FBI thoroughly. Now, this situation did happen 6 days ago. So here's the situation. Since this comment was made by Earl Jr., his account has been down and the internet has found this man. Apparently, he has posted TikToks with a shirt on, a work shirt, and people have found not only the location, but the company, and quite literally, they found Earl. Earl has deleted his TikTok account, and there is that other Earl1173. I don't know if he created that as like a backup, but if he would, I don't know why he would use his name, but who knows? You know what? Logic on the internet, it really doesn't logic anymore. I wanted to talk about this because I feel in my bones this is just a shit situation. This is so bad. You don't say that. You don't say that. That's a weird thing to say. That's a weird thing to think about saying. And maybe, like I said, he just wasn't familiar with the lingo. Maybe he doesn't know what the fuck he just said. Maybe he doesn't know he just said that he was gonna a child. Maybe he's unfamiliar with, like, the terminology that we use for, like, certain expressions now, how it's changed over time. And maybe he just doesn't understand what the fuck he has said on the internet. But this is why it's very, very important to proofread what you're saying, and if you're not sure exactly what you're saying, try to Google and like understand what it is that you're fucking saying before you post it to the internet. Now, I personally feel like people of course need to be aware of what the fuck they're saying when they're posting on the internet, because what do you mean? You're gonna post something and say that and you're not sure what it is that you just said. I feel like it is very important to understand the context and to proofread what you're saying. And again, if you don't understand what you're saying, if you're using slang you're unfamiliar with and you just want to say it because, like, you know, cool kids say it. You know, I've heard the kids saying this and using this lingo, let me hop on the bandwagon and try. Earl, you need to know what it is that you're truly saying. And did he say... Now, again, this is one of those situations where I just don't know. I don't know if this man is genuinely a creep, if he typed that because he meant what he said, or if he truly just, like, does not understand at all what he just said. Because I feel like a majority of people, especially people who would be guilty of doing something like that, would not go to social media and announce it using their name and a profile that has their face attached. I just feel like a majority of people would not do that. But again, it's the internet, and it would not surprise me if somebody who's capable of doing vile things would come forward on the internet and be like, I do these vile things. It just would not surprise me. But this is one of those situations where it just shocked the shit out of me because, one, I didn't expect to read that comment, and I know for damn certain none of y'all expected that comment either, because what do you mean? Man, Earl, check this man's hard drives, okay? Let's check his hard drives. Because I'm curious, is this man guilty, or does he simply just need, like, a simple YouTube video instructional on, like, brain rot and, like, the lingo and what certain words and certain sayings truly mean? I don't know if he needs his hard drive checked or if he needs, like, a brain rot class. We're gonna find out. This is one of those situations, like I said, I've seen people who do vile shit and, like, are capable of vile things, who say crazy shit on the internet and expose themselves, and it is what it is. We see it all the time with influencers, but I feel like this is one of those rare situations where you find a comment of somebody saying really crazy shit and you just got to talk about it, because what actually did you mean by that, Earl? I want to know y'all's thoughts and opinions. I want to know what y'all think about this situation with Earl. This was not a video I had planned. It really wasn't. It just kind of popped up as I was scrolling and I was like, what the fuck, Earl? But I love you guys. I want to know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and I will catch you in the next damn video. Alright, bye.